الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. وبعد, today inshallah ta'ala we are talking about one of the stories of the Quran. It is a great story that we can learn a lot from. This is the surah of the people of Sabath or Sabbath. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this story in part of it in Surah Al-Baqarah, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in Surah Al-A'raf. So in Surah Al-A'raf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاسْأَلْهُمْ عَنِ الْقَرْيَةِ الَّتِي كَانَتْ حَاضِرَةَ الْبَحْرِ إِذْ يَعْدُونَ فِي السَّبْتِ إِذْ تَأْتِيهِمْ حِيتَانُهُمْ يَوْمَ سَبْتِهِمْ شُرَّعًا وَيَوْمَ لَا يَسْبِتُونَ لَا تَأْتِيهِمْ كَذَلِكَ نَبْلُوهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. So this is the speech from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to an-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah is saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and ask them about the city or the village that was close to the sea. They used to transgress on the Sabath, which is Saturday. When the fish used to come to them with huge amounts, and any day other than Saturday, the fish wouldn't come to them. This is how we tested them because of their disobedience. So Allah is saying to an-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ask the people, the Jews in Al-Medina. So ask them about the people of Saturday, what happened to them? And as a matter of fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't want the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to get an answer from them, because Allah is going to tell him exactly what happened to those people, what did they do, and what kind of punishment that they had. وَاسْأَلْهُمْ, ask them about the people of As-Sabt. It was a village by the sea. What is the name of this village? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say in the Quran, but scholars have some opinions and some explanations about that. But I want you always, when you come to the Quran, if it was important, the name of the town or of the village and who was ruling there, where it was, if that was important, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would tell us about it. But the name, the scholar said it's Ayla, it's Madian, it's, the name is not going to change anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to the point. And this is how the people, I want you to pay attention to people when they are narrating a story, when they are saying a story. Some people who are really very good about how they are telling a story. Why? Because they skip all the minor details. They don't want you to get bored or lost in so many details. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exactly is telling us about the stories in the Quran. But on the other hand, some people, they stop so many times with very small details that is not going to change anything. If it's not there, it wouldn't change anything. Same thing here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not mention the name of the city, how many people were there, what kind of sea, what is the name of the sea that it was next to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not bothering us with these small details that would not change anything about the story. So there was a city or a village next to the sea, and their life was depending on fishing. Most of the inhabitants of this village, they've been fishermen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing them because of the disobedience that they had to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what kind of test that they had? Allah said, إِذْ تَأْتِيهِمْ حِيتَانُهُمْ يَوْمَ سَبْتِهِمْ شُرَّعًا. They've been Jews, and Sabt, doing anything, working on Saturday is forbidden for them. It was forbidden for them. It's haram. So they were not supposed to fish on Saturdays. But the test was like that. When it was Saturday, fish would come from everywhere close to the beach. And they would, start jumping out of water. And when it was any day other than Saturday, and they go fishing, they can't find any fish. And this was the test for them. Were they going to still, stand firm and have patience on this test, or they are just going to violate the rules of Allah? Allah said, كَذَلِكَ نَبْلُوهُمْ. This is how we tested them. بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have given them this test because of their wickedness, because they disobeyed me. So this was the test. If they are to fail, then the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming to them. So and this is how it started. Almost everything starts with one person. So one of them, he didn't, when it was Friday night, he put his net into the water. Or according to other scholars, they made just like small canals coming out of the water, and they used to open it on Friday night, so that when the water comes, the waves comes on Saturday, and there are a lot of fish there, so waves would bring those fish into these small canals, and they're gonna end up with them. When the waves go back, then the fish would be on the sand, and then they would come on Sunday morning and collecting these fish, either from the nets or, according to the other opinion, from these canals and holes that they made. This is started with one person. And they found this man on Saturday, on Sunday morning, and he was eating fish. They smelled the fish everywhere. So they came to him, where did you get this from? He said, on Friday I did that, and with that I'm not fishing on Saturday. I don't work on Saturday because it's haram, that. So this is how it started with one person. He thinks that he deceived Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He found a way out. So people followed him on this way. And not everybody did that. Some people of them did it, and they started doing the same thing. They put their nets on Friday nights, and then they don't do anything on Saturday, yes, but on Sunday morning, they go and get the fish from their nets or from the holes that they made there. So those are the people who violated the rules. Then there was another group. They started to do al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa-nahy an al-munkar. They started to commanding them for what is good. They're telling them, you have to listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to stop doing this evil act. This is haram. You know that this is forbidden. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this does not please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're committing a sin. You're disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they kept talking to them. This is the second group. Then there was a third group. And this group was quiet. They did not fish on Saturday. They didn't go and fish with them. But they didn't go with the second group to command for what is good and to forbid what is wrong. So they minded their own business. And after a while, they started to talk to the second group. They said to them, لِمَ تَعِظُونَ قَوْمًا اللَّهُ مُهْلِكُهُمْ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُهُمْ عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا. They said to them, why are you bothering yourselves? Now this is the third group that kept quiet. They're saying to the second group, why are you bothering yourselves and keep, talking to those people, keep admonishing them and preaching them and telling them this is right, this is wrong. Why are you doing this? You're giving yourself a headache. You don't have to worry about them. Why? Because Allahu muhlikum, Allah is going to destroy them. Yes, we are not happy with what they are doing, but we don't want to, to go into this debate and arguing and bother ourselves. We know that Allah is going to destroy them and He's going to punish them severely. So just keep quiet. Why do you bother yourselves? So the second group, and this is the best group of them, قالوا معذرة إلى ربكم. We are doing this to excuse ourselves before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are showing and we are saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we do not like that and we are innocent from that, and we are admonishing them because of you, for your sake, for you to be pleased on us. So this is the first reason. They are admonishing them, they are preaching out to them because they want to have excuse in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah asks them on the day of judgment, they said, oh Allah, we did our best. We talked to them. We told them that this is wrong. You're not supposed to do that. You shouldn't be doing that. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second reason, وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. Maybe they're going to, when we talk to them, maybe this is going to remind them. Maybe this is going to open up and soften their hearts. Maybe they will change their minds. Who knows? That sometimes the people they need for someone to talk to them, someone to remind them. So we're doing this. Maybe Allah is going to excuse us. And the second reason is that they might have taqwa to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ وَأَخَذْنَا الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا بِعَذَابٍ بَئِيسٍ بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. When they turned away, when they forgot, their minds does not bother them to think about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from them. They totally forget about Allah, His commandments. They are now busy on fishing. And they started, this became something that open, that everyone is doing. Not everyone, like everyone from the first group are doing that. Nobody's hiding from this anymore. This is how the thing starts. It starts shy. And people are embarrassed to do it. Once they have large number of people doing it, then they will start doing it and they will feel easy doing that. So when they felt this kind of easiness doing it, they separated themselves. Those who've been commanding for the good and forbidding for evil, they made a barrier. They built a wall between them. They said, we cannot stay with you anymore. Yes, we are, families, we are friends, but it's not safe for us anymore. So they built a separation, a wall between those who violated the Sabbath and the good people. So the good people, we said before, there are two groups. Group of them, they minded their own business. They said, we are fine, I don't have to worry about others. And the other one, they said, no, we have to talk to them. We have to tell them what's right and what is wrong. So there is now wall between the violators and the pious ones. And every day, you know, on the other side from the wall, there were two doors, a door for the evil people and a door for the good doors. So they used to go outside on the other days, and they would see on Saturday, on Sundays, Mondays, they would see each other by the beach, and they would go for fishing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا نَسَوْا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ. We saved those who have been forbidding from committing sins. The group that they've been always talking to them and admonishing them, Allah said, we saved them. And then what happened to the wrongdoers? What happened to the violators? وَأَخَذْنَا الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا بِعَذَابٍ بَئِيسٍ بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. And we took the sinners with a severe punishment because of their disobedience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ فَلَمَّا عَتَوْا عَمَّا نُهُوا عَنْهُ قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. When they persisted, when they transgressed and went beyond the limits, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. We said to them, be despised apes. Be despised apes. In another surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they've been transformed into apes and pigs. And here scholars differed about that. Was this a real transformation? Was this a real curse that they literally transformed into apes and swines? Or this is a metaphor, and this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I made their manners and their characteristics, they act like apes, like monkeys, and like pigs. There are two different opinions. Most of the scholars, they accept the first opinion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally transformed them and cursed them, that He made them to turn into apes and pigs. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curses people and turns and transforms them like that, they do not breed, and they most likely they are not going to survive. They will die. Few days after that, Allah shows them the punishment in this life and in the hereafter. So don't think those apes or pigs that we are having nowadays are the descendants of those people. No, those people, they came to an end. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed them, they stayed there for a few days to regret the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then all of them died because of this curse and transformation. According to the other opinion, they said no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't change their bodies into animals, but the way that their nature, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made their nature, their characteristics, they are so greedy, the way that they deal with one another, just like animals are doing that. This was the story of the people of the Sabath. And we learn from that how it is dangerous to violate or to try to trick or to think that you are smarter than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are finding a way out from the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you don't like it. Because you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not paying attention to that. This is a major sin. That you are trying to twist the texts and the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make it according to your own desires and your own benefits. it's also, we learn from that, that when you see something wrong, you have to condemn it, you have to criticize it, you can't just be quiet. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi." Whoever amongst you see something wrong, let him change it with his hand. You see someone is being his rights is being taken away from him, he's being violated, someone is being beaten, someone is being cursed, someone is being attacked, or anything, any kind of things that you see that you can change with your hand, then you have to go and help. So what if you can't? What if you see that, no, this is bigger than me, I cannot do anything to that? فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه, let him at least talk and say, hey, stop it, don't do that, this is haram, this is wrong, you're not supposed to do that. What if you are afraid and scared even to say it? Then فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه, then if you can't, then do it with your heart. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, and this is the weakest iman, you cannot having something less than that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْكُمْ خَاصَّةً, and be aware and avoid some kinds of trials and problems that when the punishment comes, is not going to come to the wrongdoers only, but it's going to come to everyone. It's going to come to every single one. And then on the day of judgment, people will be resurrected according to their intentions. So we learn from that some cases that we have to be having the initiation, and not to just wait and not to be the reaction. We have to rectify the situation as much as we can, and we know that the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not away from the wrongdoers. This is a great story, and so many lessons to be learned from the story of the people of Sabath. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us obedient and to follow his commandments, and whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us in the Quran and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam guided us in his sunnah, and to stay away and to refrain from the prohibitions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran or Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in his sunnah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our fasting, our qiyam, our good deeds. آمين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.